Today, we're looking at 3 ways real estate agents are doubling their business right now. And all 3 ways are predicated on finding leverage in their day-to-day real estate business without adding additional cost. So regardless if you're doing 12 transactions right now looking to get to 24, or if you're doing 50 trying to get to 100, this video is for you. Because you're going to see exactly how our real estate agents that are doubling their business are leveraging technology to grow their business exponentially. So the first way is very simple but commonly overlooked, and that's the way that appointment setting is done. But first, I want you to imagine something. I want you to think back to the time when you had a doctor's appointment. What did that look like? Well, chances are you scheduled an appointment. Then you went to the appointment to check in and you were given either a clipboard or an iPad to fill out your medical history. Then you get called up by a nurse or a nurse practitioner to take your vitals before you get taken to your room to wait for 30 to 60 minutes until the doctor finally shows up and probably asks you 2 to 3 questions, looks you over, and then gives you a diagnosis, which can come with prescriptions or instructions on what to do next. And before you know it, the doctor is out the door having spent with you only 5 to 10 minutes. Now, for all intents and purposes, that's the general doctor visit. Now, why do I tell you this story? Well, because we as real estate agents have a lot to learn on how appointment setting is done in the medical field. We as real estate agents find ourselves trying to do everything. We talk to anybody and everybody that has even a hint of trying to buy or sell a home. What ends up happening to us, since we don't have these checks and balances or these filters set in place, is we get buried with opportunities. So in order for us real estate agents to start seeing growth, is we need to get better at the conversion and scaling of our business. And one of the best ways to do that is by the way that we're setting up our appointments. So you need to ask yourself, how am I qualifying my leads? How am I setting myself up for the actual appointments? And also, how am I conducting the appointments themselves? As an example, Franco, who's one of our highly successful real estate agents that gets all of his business through YouTube, which means everything is coming inbound, has a phenomenal appointment setting system. Because although he can get 200 leads per week, he doesn't want 200 leads per week because most of them are not ready or willing to do a real estate transaction in the coming weeks or months. Most of those individuals that would gladly give Franco their name, their email, and their phone number are more trying to get some personal advice on a real estate transaction that probably won't work. Either what they're actually trying to achieve is not possible because the property doesn't exist, or because they themselves are not going to be qualified to purchase a home. So it doesn't make sense for him to flood himself with thousands of people that are just going to use him as an advisor, but would never use him as a real estate agent or anybody on his real estate team to help them buy or sell. So he uses an intake form that asks a lot of very specific questions. And once they go through the intake form, they go on to the next step, which is scheduling. Now, the scheduling is all handled automatically. He uses Calendly to schedule all of the appointments between the people that pass that initial filter via the intake form, and with his internal team members that are going to be doing the pre-screening. So by the time he actually steps into a conversation, which right now is about 30 booked appointments per week, he knows that at least 20 of them are going to do something here in the next couple of weeks, because he's already filtered out all of the individuals that he's not going to be able to help either ever or in the coming months. So he has built several leverage points via technology in most cases for him to operate more like a doctor, like a practitioner. So he doesn't have to spend hours trying to get somebody on the phone. He can just show up for that 15-minute Zoom call appointment, ask what he needs to ask, get the responses he needs to get, and then triage that conversation to somebody that is going to be able to help that buyer or seller. So very similar to how a doctor will go in and spend 5 to 10 minutes with the actual patient, Franco does something very close to that. So these 30 booked appointments that Franco now has, he's going in there to just solidify the relationship and then pass the client off to one of his team members that's going to take it from there. And to execute this strategy is very simple. He's generating all of his business through YouTube. And the beauty of this is that you can replicate this yourself, regardless if you're generating your business from YouTube like Franco, or from cold calling, or from Zillow, or from referrals. Whatever system you're using or whatever lead generation strategy you're using, you're able to leverage technology here. Just set up a simple Google form for that data intake, follow that up with the Calendly for that appointment setup, and then have an email autoresponder that's going to do the follow-up after the conversation. And the second way that our real estate agents are doubling their business leveraging technology is through artificial intelligence. Now, what's important to understand is we're not using artificial intelligence for 100% of whatever it is that we're doing, whether it's social media, whether it's scripts, whether whether it's writing blogs, whatever the case may be. We are leveraging artificial intelligence for 90% of it. And the reason being is because artificial intelligence can't do everything for you right now. Now, the best illustration I can give you for this right now is in the shipping and delivery industry, because there's this thing called the final mile when you're shipping and delivering, where the final mile of delivery has long been the most expensive part of the fulfillment and shipping process. The last mile is so important that it can cost up to 50% of the entire shipping cost. So when you're shipping something, the bulk of the cost is not the 18-wheelers that you pass on the highway every single day. It's actually those vans that you see barreling through your neighborhood streets. So for you as a real estate agent, you're focused on that last mile. You're not focused on everything that happens before that. Everything that happens before that can be done through artificial intelligence. So as an example, if you're writing a blog, get the ideas for the blog itself from artificial intelligence. Then allow that same AI to give you a good outline of that blog itself. So this is the equivalent of an 18-wheeler giving you a huge head start. AI tools like ChatGPT or Bard from Google are gonna do the heavy lifting. You're gonna go in and focus on that final mile. You're gonna go in and fine tune it, and that it makes sense so everybody that is reading can actually enjoy what you wrote. Same thing with the emails that you send. Don't spend hours and hours emailing people back and forth. Allow ChatGPT or Bard to write 90% of what you send. As an example, instead of you spending 30 minutes trying to get that perfect email written to that homeowner explaining why their home hasn't sold, just type a few bullet points that you want covered in ChatGPT and allow ChatGPT to create that email for you. You just go back into that text copy and fill in the gaps. So it would take you normally 30 minutes to really write out an eloquent email, now takes you about 2 minutes. This strategy alone has helped one of our agents down in Houston exponentially grow their reach on social media, where 95% of the content that she's putting out on social media right now was written by ChatGPT, and her engagement on social media has gone up 500%. Now, the third way to find leverage via technology is through video. Implement workflow videos into your business as quickly as possible. These workflow videos are videos that you can use for your clients that are already buying and selling. These are videos that you're introducing to your buyers and sellers through your normal workflow. As an example, a week before closing, you're sending a video explaining what the closing day is. You're sharing what a buyer is expected to bring. You're sharing what a buyer is not supposed to do. You're sharing what a buyer is supposed to do. You're educating your buyers so they're fully prepared. And same thing on the selling side. A week before closing, you could send that video to your homeowners, letting them know what they need to do so they're ready for when the day comes. These are videos that you can introduce into your specific workflow. Now take Jared as an example. He integrated his video workflow funnel and he's earned 10 hours back per week. This means that every single week he now has 10 hours to do more. Whether he decides to reinvest that into his business or focus more on his personal life, it's up to him. But as far as his current production and his current responsibilities, he's covered and has saved 10 hours doing so, simply by introducing his workflow videos. Now, these are the 3 ways that I encourage all of our real estate agents that I personally coach and all of the agents within our group to get more transactions done. This is how so many of our agents are working 20% less and doubling their business. Now, if you found value in this video, go ahead and comment leverage down below. And if you want to see another video that's going to help you grow your real estate business, check out this video right here.